John Titor. As of the date of this broadcast, in mid-September 2021, and according to Wikipedia, the online open-source encyclopedia, quote, John Titor is a pseudonym used on several bulletin boards during 2000 and 2001 by a poster claiming to be an American military time traveler from 2036. Titor made numerous vague and specific predictions regarding calamitous events in 2004 and beyond, including a nuclear war. Inconsistencies in his explanations, the uniform inaccuracy of his predictions, and a private investigator's findings all led to the general impression that the entire episode was an elaborate hoax. A 2009 investigation concluded that Titor was likely the creation of Larry Haber, a Florida entertainment lawyer, along with his brother Maury, a computer scientist. The first posts using John Titor's military symbol appeared on the Time Travel Institute forums on November 2, 2000, under the name Time Travel _0. At that time, the name John Titor was not being used. The posts discussed time travel in general, the first one being the 6 parts description of what a time machine would need to have to work, and responses to questions about how such a machine would work. Early messages tended to be short. A second thread was also made due to shortcomings in the forum software at the time. The name John Titor was not introduced until January 2001, when Time Travel _0 began posting at the Art Bell BBS forums, which required a name or pseudonym for every account. The Titor posts ended in late March 2001. In his online postings, Titor claimed to be an American soldier from 2036, based in Tampa, Florida. He was assigned to a governmental time travel project and sent back to 1975 to retrieve an IBM 5100 computer, which he said was needed to debug various legacy computer programs in 2036, a possible reference to the Unix Year 2038 problem. The IBM 5100 runs the APL and BASIC programming languages. Titor said he had been selected for this mission specifically, given that his paternal grandfather was directly involved with the assembly and programming of the 5100. In support of this, he described unpublicized features of the 5100, leading to assumptions that a computer scientist was behind the postings. Titor claimed to be on a stopover in the year 2000 for personal reasons, to collect pictures lost in the future Civil War, and to visit his family, of whom he spoke often. Titor described his time machine on several occasions. In an early post, he described it as a stationary mass temporal displacement unit powered by 2 top-spin dual positive singularities, producing a standard offset Tipler sinusoid. The earliest posts was more explicit, saying it contained the following: 1. 2 magnetic housing units for the dual microsingularities. 2. An electron injection manifold to alter mass and gravity of the microsingularities. 3. A cooling and X-ray venting system. 4. Gravity sensors, or a variable gravity lock. 5. 4 main cesium clocks. And 6. 3 main computer units. According to the posts, the device was installed in the rear of a 1966 Chevrolet Corvette convertible and later mentioned a 1987 truck having four-wheel drive. Although invoking the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics, whereby events from his timeline may differ from our own, Titor also expressed assurance that the differences were minimal. As such, his descriptions have been interpreted as predictions and compared with historical events since 2001. The most immediate of Titor's predictions were of an upcoming civil war in the United States having to do with order and rights. He described it as beginning in 2005 with civil unrest surrounding the presidential election of that year. The civil conflict that he characterized as having a Waco-type event every month that steadily gets worse would be pretty much at everyone's doorstep and erupt by 2008. As a result of the war, the United States would split into 5 regions based on various factors and differing military objectives. This civil war, according to Titor, would end in 2015 with a brief but intense World War III. Titor refers to this exchange as N-Day. Washington, D.C., and Jacksonville, Florida, are specifically mentioned as being hit. After the war, Omaha, Nebraska, would be the new U.S. capital. Titor was vague as to the exact motivations and causes for World War III. At one point, he characterized the hostilities as being led by border clashes and overpopulation. He also pointed to the contemporary conflict between Arabs and Israel as not a cause, but rather a milestone that precedes a hypothetical World War III. Titor claimed that as a 13-year-old in 2011, he joined the Fighting Diamondbacks, a shotgun infantry unit in Florida, for at least 4 years. In other posts, he described himself as hiding from the war. Titor claimed that the Everett-Wheeler model of quantum physics, better known as the many worlds interpretation, was correct. According to Titor, this caused a new time stream to form because of his time travel. This gives his predictions the ability to stand up to scrutiny when they fail to pass, since believers can say that the events were averted by Titor's postings.